shorts.
Howdy, partners. Now I know what you're thinking. What the heck is this? Where's the new D&D edition episode? Why am I watching this thing that's not the thing that I like? Okay, just hear me out. There's this thing that's been going around in the world lately. I don't want to say what it is. Anyway, that thing has kept us from filming the way that we want to, so unfortunately there won't be a D&D edition episode today. Also, I may or may not have gotten in the script too late, but anyway, sorry about that. However, I do have some other news of the goodest quality. We're streaming D&D again, like actually playing it, Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, here on this channel as well as on Twitch at twitch.tv/manstreams. We just started last week. The first episode is actually up on our channel. 3rd level characters, 5th edition. I'm playing a Loxodon ranger named Tantor Mantar. I mean, you gotta see that. Live episodes of our campaign will be on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. VOD of that episode will be made available Monday. Unless, and of course, you're a member or a patron, in which case the VOD will be available the next day. In lieu of a D&D edition episode today, this video will serve as my first episode of Worldbuilding Chaos. This is my new series in which I'll be creating a gigantic D&D campaign. If you like the show and want to continue watching it, you can do so by becoming a patron on our Patreon page or a member on our YouTube page. First one's free. Speaking of which, huge thanks to all of the dungeon crawlers, dragon slayers, and patrons. I can't thank you enough for your support. Your contributions help keep this ship going, and we love you for it. Okay, way too much buildup. Without further ado, here's the first episode of Worldbuilding Chaos. You're going to find out pretty quickly that this show is mostly just me talking, but that's what it is, so buckle up. If you didn't already know, I've started a quest to create the most comprehensive D&D game campaign ever made. So why don't we start right there? I am aware that there are several existing campaigns and games whose detail is astronomical. I know that. Honestly, I don't really care about being the most comprehensive game ever. Really, I just want to create a humongous world that players can use for years to come. I want to create a 5e campaign that can operate under the same customization and storyline depth as a video game. Like Elder Scrolls Oblivion, which is the best Elder Scrolls game, period. Don't at me. So I figure there are 4 main focuses to building this thing. Number 1, interchangeable NPCs. I want to create a cache of NPCs that allows for full immersion. I'm talking millions of NPCs. And not just names and races. I'm talking full character sheets and background stories. I know that's a lot, but the more people that are involved, the easier it'll be. So tell your friends. Become a member. Join Patreon. Anyway, if all NPCs in the game were accounted for, it would allow the encounters to feel more organic. It would allow for the DM to have to railroad less. Also, if your players don't feel like making a character, give them one of the NPCs. I also want the world to account for a certain number of blank NPCs that can be customized by the DM. If you already have a 5e character or characters and you would like them to exist in the Chaos Thrives Within world, send them over. Number 2. Customizable DM tools. We're not just going to need characters. We're going to need side quests, magic items, and monsters. Lots of them. Many of them will be assigned to specific cities or countries, but some of them will be unassigned so the DMs can just pull them from a pool and plug and play wherever they choose. I want every city to have several options for side quests and encounters. Just lends itself to less railroading and more valuable choices. Number 3, maps. Maps are going to get weird. We've got to create thousands of cities, towns, villages, caves, dungeons, islands, mountains, forests, jungles, deserts. It's a lot of stuff. More importantly, we need to have somewhat of an idea of what we're building in its relation to everything else. I think I'm pretty comfortable with the 4 main countries, which I'll go over in the next video. But as an example, I've already created a couple of cities, my favorite of which so far has been Nightmare City. People go to Nightmare City to get scared, sort of like a haunted house, Halloween Horror Nights type situation, except it's just a bunch of wizards who cast weird on groups of people. I actually talk more about it on my podcast, episode 23, Nightmare City. That's the No Big Banana podcast, which is available on all major podcast platforms, as well as my YouTube channel, Yazik, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m. Eastern. Shameless plug. Number 4. Storylines and organization. I'm going to be handling the writing of the main campaign, so initially all I'm going to need are standalone side quests. As we go and as I write, I intend to release some information about the main campaign without giving any spoilers. This might be able to prompt some cool ideas for side quests that might seem innocuous to the players at first, but hold a great importance later in the campaign. I think this adds to the wealth of customization for the storyline, and it creates quests that might lead to shortcuts for the main campaign, or disasters. I also need a way to organize this. I did create a Discord channel. I put the link for that on the Patreon page as well as on the YouTube page for members. Maybe that can help in getting us at least a little bit organized at first. Later on down the road, I'm assuming that I'll need some sort of a program in order to keep all of this data stored. Okay, well, that's basically it. This is basically the show. I'm creating a giant campaign that I want to be made for the community by the community. So start sending me stuff. Forward any content that you'd like to submit to the Chaos Thrives Within campaign to worldbuildingchaos@gmail.com. And like I said, if you want to keep up with the show, you can either become a patron on our Patreon website, or you can become a member on our YouTube channel. And remember, patrons and members get early video on demand access to our 5e campaign. That's not terrible for a first episode, I guess. Oh yeah, by the way, if you're a patron or a member, the second episode is already available for you. Go give it a check it out. Check it out. Don't worry, next week there'll be a D&D. All right, see you around.